You ever had somebody talk mess about your outfit or your hair or whatever it is, and then 5 weeks later or 5 days later, they have on the same thing? What a loser, right? Like, and the thing is, they think you don't see it. They think you don't see what they're doing. That's the scary part. But once you see it, go ahead and exit. I don't care what anybody says, honey. Imitation is not flattery. It's not, okay? Copying, replicating, duplicating, mirroring, monitoring, none of that stuff, none of it is something to take lightly, okay? None of that. Imitation is not flattery. I've never believed that. I don't know why people say things like that. People are all just liars, That's why that's why it's so important to have your own mind, because imitation is not flattery. Okay, first of all, imitation signals to me that person is playing dress up in life. And if someone plays dress up by trying to be another person, I can only imagine what their life is under the surface. It's probably chaotic and in shambles, because you're not living in a reality. You're living in a fantasy when you're trying to cloak yourself in someone else's energy, and you're trying to cloak yourself in someone else's personality. That is somebody that doesn't want to face the reality of life. They're playing dress up. People like that have a lot going on. I always encourage people to be yourself, like yourself, and work on yourself. There's nothing wrong with being inspired, having somebody inspire you. Inspiration is a beautiful thing. If they can do it, you can do it too. But do it like you, not like them, if that makes sense. You are your biggest project in life. Trying to be another person is kind of you lying to yourself. You're kind of living a lie when you're trying to be somebody else's shadow. The weirdest thing that I see, this is probably the one thing that I see that I'm like, okay, that's really weird. It's something that I still have not been able to quite understand. And that is the desire to be like somebody else. I've never understood that. We have to draw a thin line. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to draw a thin line in the sand that separates inspiration from replication. You shouldn't have any desire to be like another person other than you. You can be inspired by somebody, right? Somebody can inspire you to be better, to be stronger, to be firmer. But you are your project. It's your job to look at you and the way you are and make the correct alterations to ensure you become the best maximum version of you. Trying to morph yourself into another person is a sign of mental and emotional immaturity. You're playing dress up. Dress up is for children. It's not for grown women. Playing dress up is not for grown men. That is for kids. Secondly, you should not want to be another person, because when you want to be another person, energetically, you are going to have to deal with the turmoil that person and that energy deals with. A lot of people look to me and they may say they want to be like me, and I tell them, no, you don't. All you see is the surface of me. You don't know the hell I faced. You don't want to be me. I promise you that. You do not want to be me. That I can promise you and assure you. And it's very dangerous to want to be another person. Because as much as they may have certain qualities that you admire, you should not have a desire to be like that person. You should have a desire to use the way that person inspires you to better your authentic self. You don't want to be that other person. And that's exactly why I say a lot of women struggle with this internal teenage version of themselves that's still operating in their life, because you're playing dress up still. And it's weird. It's really weird. And when I see it, it raises my eyebrow, because it's like, what is wrong with you? Like, you rather spend more time being another person or trying to be another person than being yourself. That's kind of scary. That's alarming. It's like you have not matured in your life. You have not progressed. You're regressing. You're progressing in age, but regressing in maturity. Because anybody that has any type of maturity or spiritual understanding, you know you don't want to be like anybody else from a spiritual standpoint. Because if you want to be like that person, you'll have to fight their demons. And you don't know what demons they're fighting. But you want to replicate their energy. You want to be like them. You want a destiny swap with them. You want to switch lives with them. Not knowing that there's not just the positive of people in life. What about the demons they fight? What about the curses that they're trying to break? You're going to inherit all of that to you when you're trying to be like another woman or be another woman. Now, things in your life, you're going to have things start coming up in your life that weren't there before, because you're trying to live in another person's energy. So when new demons start to arrive at your doorstep and you're wondering, where is this coming from? I've never had this problem before. I've never dealt with this before. Well, spiritually, you're trying to be in somebody else's energy. That's why I say a lot of women and men, you have a lot of growing up to do. Because when you grow up in life, you're not going to talk the same anymore. You're not going to say, oh, I want to be like her, or I want to be like him. You're not going to say those type of words because you know how dangerous those kind of statements are. A lot of people don't have any spiritual awareness. So they don't understand the risk of trying to duplicate somebody's energy or personality. Because that person, they're authentically themselves. So they know what their challenges are and they know how to face those challenges. Some people may look at me and say, oh, I want to be like her. Not inspired, right? I want to be like her. Okay. Do you know the type of challenges that my type of personality faces? Because you're going to have a huge problem on your hands if you don't know how to face the challenges that I face based on my own energy. Are you okay with being an outcast? Being pursued? Are you okay with that? You never want to be another person, ladies and gentlemen. You want to be you. You want to perfect you because God made you perfect. It's just, and the scary part about it is how people, it's like they don't grow out of it though. That's the scary part. It's like you literally want to be another person. That's so scary to me. You want to channel another person's behavior, mannerisms. You will now face the demons they face. And when they show up in your life, don't act confused because you wanted this. You wanted to be like me. You wanted it. Now you got it. Your life is your project. It should be your desire to perfect yourself and all the beautiful things that comes with you. We all have broken pieces to us. We're all broken in some way. We all have baggage in some way. We all have dealt with certain things. But it's your job to fix you. You jumping into another person's persona, you jumping and acting like a whole other person's personality, that's not going to get you the results that you want. You're just running away from your own reality. I worked in HR for several years, so in this class, I am going to teach you guys tips, tricks, and valuable information so you can be a corporate Spartan. It is not easy working in corporate America, but if you have the right office politics and you know your rights legally, that will definitely help you have a more enjoyable experience. So this class, I will be teaching you from an HR standpoint, what to do, what not to do, and how to jump paths so that you can get the promotions that you always wanted, what to look out for and what not to look out for in office politics. Also, next class on power. Power is very, very important. This class is not about feminine power. It's about power in life and having staying power. To get through life, when you're dealing with humans, men and women, you need to learn how to make sure that you have staying power, and you need to learn how to make sure that all of the moves that you make sense so you can always be 25 steps ahead of everyone else, because life is chess, not checkers.